Welcome back, everybody. My name's A Prater 54, aka Adam, coach in the Chesney Park Slowpokes, and today we bring you the draft scores for Little Cup, aka Evie's Daycare Center, that we started in SDA for this season. What we are going to do is grade each of our 12 lovely coaches on priority, hazards, removal, momentum, and speed, like we did with the other draft recaps. Even though hazards aren't really a big thing in Little Cup because it does like 2-3 damage, it adds up over time. But we are going to hop on into this. I noticed first things first when looking at the sheet that God Bear's sand dial is wrong. Its speed is base 65, not 98. I do not know why I did that. It should be down here, right under Cottony, but it's nuts. But it is what it is. But the way this season broke down before I hop into this team is they get 95 points for 10 Pokemon. 16 to 19 point tier cannot hold Eviolite, and so that means, well, can't hold Eviolite, can't Terra, can't yada yada. Terra is 9 points or below, and it's open Terra preview, and the captain cannot hold Eviolite regardless of whether it Terras or not. So we are going to hop on into this. They ended up getting a Plusle, Teddiursa, Terra Captain, Squirtle, Glamora, Larvesta, Cottony. We've got Rookity, Sandile. We have Mankey and Bagon. Another thing we did not ban this season is Baton Pass, Shell Smash, and Sticky Webs. Most of the time, those are banned completely in Little Cup or at the league's discretion. Fortunately, we had already started drafting before I noticed that in the validation. So we're just gonna have to deal with everything having that. So he's got a Shell Smasher and Squirtle. But this team overall, the speed tiers are pretty damn good. We've got 95 and Plusle, that's like the second fastest thing next to Ghastly and Dedenne that was allowed. We allowed Delibird, Sableye, we allowed Porygon, Stantler, kind of some Ubers that normally are not allowed, so this is Little Cup plus Ubers. Plusle and Minun were allowed, Dedenne, Delibird. Hey, we'll take it. So they have Glimmet, which is free T-Spikes if I hit it with a physical move. Absolutely annoying. They have double Stealth Rocks, they have Spikes, they have T-Spikes, they just don't have Webs. But they have Defog and Rapid Spin, so their removal is pretty good. Those are very consistent ones, especially with limited ghost types in this Little Cup format that want to switch into Rapid Spin besides Terra. They'll take it. Momentum, they have triple U-turn, Volt Switch, Baton Pass. Grading for momentum is if you have quite a bit, you're good. Teleport and Parting Shot are broken, but they have all of this momentum. We are going to give this one a decent score as well because this is consistent momentum. So they have consistent removal, they have consistent momentum. Their speed tiers are very good, but not the best. I would love to see one more Mon in the 70s because quite a few Mons just hit that soft spot where they're going to be faster than Mankey, so that's going to be a little overwhelming. So they kind of lose a little bit from that, but they have the option of Dragon Dance and Shell Smash, and Flame Charge from Larvesta. Cottony lost Tailwind. Yeah, they have decent amounts, but Rookity has it. So, all in all, like, it's decent. Hazards, we're going to give that. And for a priority, we have Aqua Jet on Squirtle. We have Vacuum Wave on Mankey. And that is about it. So, Godbear, you have a decent team. We will see how this goes. But there are no bad teams in the Little Cup because it's Little Cup. It's very, very hard not to have a bad team. So it's out of 25 points, and we're starting off strong with a very, very solid score. It's the priority that holds it back, unfortunately, but everything else is either 3 or 4 level out of 5, which is still pretty good. Next, we have Sergio. Sergio, I haven't seen him play Little Cup in a very long time. I think he last played in Sword and Shield, so this is going to be a learning experience. But this is another one that has interesting speed tiers. But it also has Prankster T-Wave, Impidimp. It has Dragon Dance in the Jangmo-O. It's got Tailwind in the Pikipek. And I believe Trick Room in the Misdrevious, but that's about it. It has excellent priority. Don't think Jangmo-O gets Vacuum Wave until it evolves into Hakamo-O, but he has Vacuum Wave in the Croagunk. He has Quick Attack in the Pikipek. Link Aqua Jet in the Chinchou. Fake Out, Faint in the Meowth. Prankster. All in all, very, very good. This one's going to be slightly better prio than the last team. Speed tiers, though, is where this team gets interesting. They don't have anything above 70, so if anything above 70 runs a Scarf or just manipulates this team, they're kind of in trouble. That Jangmo kind of needs a D-Dance to actually be able to sweep. So if your opponent's able to take advantage of that with a Mirror Herb, especially a Dark type that ignores the Impidimp, especially if it has fighting coverage, the Impidimp's in trouble. So it's definitely going to be interesting. They are pretty fat. Snivy is nothing to sleep on. But let's see what they have removal. They have Sandshrew. It's decent removal, but that's about the only thing. But it's also incredibly slow, so we'll see how that goes. Their hazards are also kind of lacking, but hazards aren't necessarily needed in Little Cup. And their momentum is pretty decent. We've got Flip Turn, Baton Pass, Volt Switch, U-Turn. All in all, pretty good team. Could have room for improvement. None of these scores really matter because of the categories. They're not really designed for Little Cup. So people are going to have to take these point ratings with a grain of salt. These are designed for the big boys. I could have done Bulk, and I could have done Cleric instead. And this would be a completely different story, but it'd only be a difference of a couple points. Momentum is 3, speed is 3, removal. Oh yeah, because the rockers are slow and they have to have Eviolite, that is another hindrance. Could have gotten a faster hazard setter, but they are bulky hazard setters. We're going to give it the benefit of the doubt, even though that's there. We are going to hop onto the next team. So, my wife has never done this before, and she drafted absolutely obnoxious. What is this? I'm used to seeing her have teams that are like 5 weaknesses to ground. She resists ground. Like, hold on, let me pull it up. This is what our team kind of looks like, because I have this open. Matchup center. We are going to Team 3. Let's see. This team ended up resisting ground and only having minor weaknesses because she didn't have a resist to it and only has one weakness to like flying and dark. And the main weakness is electric because you can see you have dual water, you have a flying type. Yeah, it barely is a weakness. And then you have rock type because there is no resist, because there's no steel type or ground type here, which she didn't want. That's fine. She doesn't think any of them are cute. The way this worked with her team is only if it's cute is it on the team. But what we are going to start with is we're going to look at the team overall. We got Marill, Sprigatito. Well, you guys can see the team as I'm rambling right in front of you. Look at these speed tiers. This is what you want. Granted, you could have gotten something in the 80s, but that is very, very, very limited. You want this 75 soft spot because now only thing outspeeding you is like Gastly, Plusle, and Dedenne. That's it. That is very good. And then it goes 75, 75, 70, 65, 65, 60, 55, 50, 40, and 34. That is a phenomenal speed spread. And then we get over here to her momentum. Quad U-turn, Volt Switch, and triple baton pass. Teleport, that does not get that. That's bugged. You have all that momentum. This is another good team with momentum. Just about as good as momentum as the very first team. What she lacks in is hazards, but she does not set them anyways. But she has one, and it's a consistent one. Unfortunately, Estradon gets spikes, but Shellos does not. But the fact that she's got that, I'm at least gonna give a point because Shellos isn't there for rocks. Shellos is there to be annoying, so it's going to get a point. It's gonna hinder her. It's fine, and we're just going to deal with it. Hold on, what was I doing? Why is this being weird? Draft. Okay. Swablu, base 50 defog setter, very bulky, gets the job done. It's off the ground, so it needs to get hit by an ice or rock or an electric move, which are not very prominent in Little Cup, so it is a very good removal option. And then we get to the priority, and this is where it gets interesting. Marill gets Belly Drum Aqua Jet that has limited switch-ins in this meta. This is why Marill was 19 points and barely made the cut to be here this season. Oran Berry gives you exactly 10 HP back. On average, Marill takes 10 HP from neutral hits, so it always gets into that range. Belly drums off, or belly jumps before the opponent if they force a swap. Now it's an issue. And it has that speed pocket plus access to Trailblaze where Marill can set up Trailblaze over the top of something slower than it, especially a slower ground type, one hit KO it, and now Marill just clicks Play Rough and Aqua Jet the rest of the game. It is that it. 40 is that spot to where it can outpace the 80 to 85 sweet spot, and it's ridiculous. Then you got Sprigatito here. It still has access to Sucker Punch. This is her Terra Captain. It still gets Protean. It does not get all the moves that Meowscarada and Floragato get. So it lost Triple Axle. It kept Play Rough. It lost Knockoff because it doesn't get that until it's Floragato. But it still gets priority. Eevee, Quick Attack. Minccino, Quick Attack. Swablu, Quick Attack. Fennekin, quick attack. Zora, quick attack. Zora, shadow sneak. The priority on this team is insane. Which is absolutely amazing. The only thing holding this team back because of this grading scale is that 1 point for hazards. If she had other hazard setters, this would be like a 2 or 3, and she would be up there close to a 20-point team. But having this amount of priority in Little Cup, especially since quick attack, if it's stab, can do half their HP, is absolutely ridiculous. The momentum she has, ridiculous. The speed tier she has is very good. Hold on, I wrote the wrong thing down on the wrong person. Alright, we are hopping in, and I have to be on fair as possible. This is my team. If my Terra Captain would ever load... Hey, Strudel, where are you? There we go. So, I've played this format. I've had recent experience in this format. I played somebody that had Grookey Strudel, and my only out to them was clicking Whirlwind to get the Strudel off the field, just so I can outspeed it. If this thing goes off in grassy terrain, you run Adamant, Slight Speed, the rest in HP, with Grassy Seed, click Swords Dance, game is over. That, and this being able to Terra Dark to avoid Prankster, Terra Electric to avoid being paralyzed, is just ridiculous. And this gets access to bug moves for dark types that would normally be a problem. It gets Trailblaze for ground types, Acrobatics to just do base 110 offense. It's ridiculous. That's another thing. I have 76, 75, 70, 65, 65, 65, and then I have a drop-off. But that drop-off happens with my bulk. But the bulk is nothing to sleep at. Nummel, simple. You click Trailblaze, it gets +2 speed. And now it's Grassy Terrain boosted. I have Grassy Glide. I have Grassy Glide in Cacnea. I have double on Burden, which is more speed. I hate to say it, but my team might be like the first full score of speed because of what it can do with the addition of Tailwind, all of the setup, constant Trailblaze. It has speed control and Grassy Glide, the double on Burden, and then you have these speed tiers on top of it. It has one of the faster electric types in the game. Just because my abilities alone puts this above the other two teams, because of that, because it's double speed. Momentum wise, we have to look at this. Drifloon does not get teleport. That is bugged. But we have quad U-turn, Voltswitz, quad baton pass. We do not have flip turn because unfortunately they hate Toxapex. But that is a lot of good priority. If I had flip turn on here, I have to take into account I have parting shot too, because Strudel is supposed to be down there on parting shot. So I'm still gonna give myself a 4 and not give myself a 5 just because I do not have flip turn. I have to be as biased. I cannot make myself better than the others. Drifloon being my hazard removal is reliable and consistent because of the grassy terrain. I come in, click defog, but that is a double-edged sword. I have to give up my grassy terrain. But if I get the grassy seed, have my unburden, and then click defog, well, now I have +1 defense. And also, we can only have 2 of each item come to the game, so that's 2 Eviolites, 2 Scarf, 2 Grassy Seed, which is perfect because I can run 2 Grassy Seeds and be just fine. Hazards. We have double Toxic Spikes, we have Spikes, and we have Stealth Rocks. If I had Webs, this would be a 5. But I have to be biased. So no, if I had Webs, this would be a 4. Wait. Yeah, if I had Webs, it would be a 4. Or maybe 5. It's either or. And Prio, we have double Grassy Glide. We have Sucker Punch. We have Fake Out. We have Vacuum Wave. We have Feints. I have decent on that. And we will hop on into the next one. This is another good team. Look at this. He has the second fastest, well, tied for second fastest in Little Cup with Hisuian Electrode, but he has base 100 speed. Then it's Stantler at 85 because it's a fast boy. Then it goes down to 70, 69, 60, 43. The speed tiers are a little wonky, but it works because you have good bulk there. You have ways of speed control. He has triple Rapid Spin. This might be the best removal in here, except losing to Ghost types, which are slim to many. Not everybody drafted one, so they'd have to Terra Ghost to block it, but it still is incredibly strong. Ignore the Parting Shot. They have Rapid Spin. They have U-Turn, Volt Switch, Baton Pass. They're kind of lacking in momentum, so I'm going to be biased because they still have four forms. I don't want to give them a 2. I'm going to settle for a 3 on this one because what does get the momentum is quality. If these were like random slow mons getting these moves that really don't do anything, like the 5 and belows, yeah, it'd be 2. But these are mons that can hit. Speed tiers are... they're a little all over the place, but they're alright. But then you get into the hazards. If you had webs, this would be a 5. But the sticky webs are very non-existent in this format, so I can't really count those. So what we're going to do, because they have 3 rockers, 3 spikers, and we have, 3, 2, 2, they have exactly what they need, and they have probably the best ones there. This is going to get max points for hazards. Then we look at priority. We have Aqua Jet on Totodile. We have Sucker Punch on Scorbunny. Sucker Punch on Pawniard. We have Bullet Punch on Tyroke. But we still have the overall bulk. Granted, the Stantler cannot run Eviolite. You still have plenty of other mons besides Gible on this team that can run Eviolite. So this is a fairly decently bulky team. Can get the job done. Pineco's there just to do Pineco things, and it's gonna work. Gible still gets Scale Shot, Swords Dance, Earthquake. You can be loaded dice set just fine. Just Scale Shot up and be fine. And remove that 4 times weakness to ice. Give him Terra Water. Now you're hard to break. That is very good. When he first drafted, I thought he was going to do Cinderace because of his name. Scorbunny because of his name. Or Totodile because of the Crocodile crew. Seeing Gible get it as an honorary crocodile, chef's kiss. But we are going to do... wait, I did the math wrong. 9, 12... 8... That ended up being a rather decent. I gotta love writing them on the wrong spot. I put the points on somebody else. I'm trying to multitask, people. I am sorry. Close this real quick. Next, we have Aaron 12, the other experienced person. He has a consistent member of APA back when it was around. And his playstyle is he only needs rocks. And he's got those hazard setters. And not bad. Not bad at all. Considering you got Diglett, which is the fastest rock setter in the game. But you got Arcanine. We're going to be decent with that. But here's where this team excels. I have to be careful against that Teratrico because if I ever play him, which I do week 2, oh wait. Yeah, I do play him week 2. He is going to be a threat in grassy terrain because you can grassy seed this thing with Terra flying and reverse sweep me. So that is another threat. This being able to unburden double speed is annoying. He's got the fastest mono loud in Dedenne. He's got 2 of the faster ones behind that in these 2. And then there's a drop off. This 80 point, 95 to 70 is a spot I don't like. If he had an 80 or 85 filling in that, this team would have been incredibly good. But I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Not a full 5, but close to it. Momentum wise, you got flip turn, you've got U-turn. It's kind of lacking there. It's very limited. But you're not going to U-turn with a Yanma. You're not going to U-turn with the Dedenne unless you have to. And Volt Switch kind of gets you stopped by ground types. Well, we're going to do that. Removal is none. Unfortunately, by this criteria, Aaron, you get, I'm sorry, screwed by that. This is why I wanted to do bulk, because some of the experienced Little Cup people will not get removal at all, because that is a thing in this format. Unless you need the rapid spin to outspeed your opponent, nobody does it. And then we have got priority. We've got a Alolan Muck with Shadow Sneak. We've got Diglett with Sucker Punch. We've got Ice Shard with Seal. Trico with Vacuum Wave, I believe. And Azura with Aqua Jet. It's just basically Baby Azumarill, but it's normal and Fairy, I believe. Which is definitely an interesting typing. So we're going to do that. Fortunately, because of the hazards, that probably made Aaron one of the lowest scores. But it happens. Without removal, I'm sorry, this criteria sucks. I apologize, Aaron. But we are going to hop on into the next one. We have 4. Yes, we are halfway there. Ralder. They're making their first attempt at Little Cup, and this team's kind of really funny when you see it. So, look at the speed tiers. First, we're going to start there. You can view the team up here. Oh, and I gotta remember that this Seatoodle does not get Slush Rush. So, it's just Raw Belly Drum, Ice Shard, and Prey. It's not going to get the double speed. But that's not going to matter when you have a Alolan Sandshrew right here that can make up for that with Slush Rush, Eviolite, outspeed a lot of things in the format. Ice hits incredibly hard throughout this whole thing. If this thing got Freeze Dry, water types would not be able to do anything. I'm sorry. But it has no like special attack to deal with it. But it's going to be interesting. But we're going to kick to the speed tiers. We got 90, 85. We got to factor in the Volbeat gets Prankster T-Wave, Prankster Tailwind to double the speed of this team. And that also allows Bramblin to have Wind Rider and get +1 attack when it comes in. And now it's smacking things in the face that are holding an item with, I believe, Poltergeist, which is incredibly good. All in all, it's not bad. And then we have 65, 65, 60, 50, 50, 50. For being new to Little Cup, the speed tiers aren't bad. They're good. If they were like any lower, if your speed went like 85 down to straight 50 and below, then that is not good unless you're running Trick Room in this format. But they have a decent amount of tools at their disposal. What this team lacks in speed, they make up for in priority. I believe Snorunt gets Ice Shard, Houndour gets Sucker Punch, Bramble gets Shadow Sneak. You get Ice Shard in Sandshrew. You get Ice Shard in Citoodle, I believe. You get Aqua Jet in Adaptability. Corvus, I believe you get Mach Punch. And actually, no, I don't think you learned Mach Punch yet. I'd have to double check. Chespin, you're here for hazards. Meowth gets Fake Out, Faint, and access to Parting Shot. So that is a form of momentum that is not on here. So we're going to have to factor that too. And then you have everything that Volbeat can do. This is a very, very, very strong team with priority. And then you look at their hazards as well. Granted, this team could use T-Spikes, but that does not matter when one layer of spikes does 1 or 2 points of damage per turn. That's nothing in Little Cup. But it's still very good. Removal. You have very, very good removal. Bramblin punishes because not a lot of things want to risk swapping into a Poltergeist unless they are a normal type to block you. If a Ghost switches in, Poltergeist can just absolutely body bag them with its high attack stat in this format. And you have Alolan Sandshrew, very consistent, gets access to knockoff. A Ghost is not going to want to swap into that. And then momentum. We got Parting Shot. We have Prankster Baton Pest. We have U-Turn. And then we have, well, that is still pretty decent. All in all, it's a very well-rounded team. And we're going to see how this goes. So far, there has not been a team that has broken over 20, but this is going to be interesting to scale later on. There hasn't been a team below 10 either, so this definitely interesting. Next, we have Boyd trying this for the first time, and we'll just wait for his team to load. Alright, so we have the Sun team. A bulky Sun team. Okay, Shieldon is supposed to be Poliwag. 1 second. I'm going to fix this live. Alright, now his thing is right. It did not save when I changed it, so good thing we noticed that. It's Sun. It does not need hazards, but there is still hazards there. Just like how Sergio and Errands didn't necessarily need it. They are still there. Granted, Shieldon doesn't want to really... Mudbray, well, doesn't really want to run rocks unless it has to. It wants to be there as a breaker. Bergmite's a reliable spinner as long as it's not a ghost type in front of it. So we're going to put that there. He is fat. Not a lot of fire types in this gen, baby-wise, that are special. And he does have one of them in Vulpix. So that's definitely going to be interesting. He has the best chlorophyll mon besides Cottony, which does not really get any benefit from the sun. But you have Bulbasaur, which is... It's base 45, but that doubles to 90. It's up here as fast as Poliwag. It's actually faster if you think about it, because that's just the base speed. Double speed is, well, 1.5 would make it 80. Double would, sorry, 1.5 would make it 62. Yeah, it'd be up there. It'd be up there. But during Grace, he ended up dropping for this Murkrow. And the Poliwag, which was phenomenal, because Murkrow is incredibly good. It gets Prankster Sunny Day, T-Wave, Haze, Tailwind, access to Rain Dance, gets access to Nasty Plot. Prankster Nasty Plot is definitely interesting, especially when you're a bird that gets access to Heat Wave. Granted, it is a double-edged sword. Hurricane is 50% accurate in the sun. But how do you trade off for that? By not being Prankster, and you run Scope Lens, Super Luck, Air Cutter. It is a 70% chance to crit every single turn. And that's usually a 95% accurate move. Base 60 now is hitting at base 85 to 90 into you. So that is about as stronger than Air Slash at that point, which is incredibly good. Now you factor in +2. That's good. So not only does he have Sun, he can also set Rain for Poliwag and be a double-edged sword. He also has Magikarp here that gets Swift Swim. And Hydra, I believe it can learn Hydro Pump. If it is a TM, it can learn it. So you can have Rain boosted Magikarp, clicking Hydro Pump for 1 point. Which is hilarious because it's base 80 speed and it does nothing besides that and tackle and splash. Vulpix is here, gives quite a bit of support. I believe it still gets Healing Wish just like its parent Ninetales. You have Mach Punch Magby. If you can get a Belly Drum off, you can just spam Mach Punch into a team, do the same thing Azu does, so it's incredibly good. Then you have Snubbull here for Intimidate, also very good. You have Mudbray here with Stamina. You have the bulkiest thing alive in Little Cup, and Shieldon with an Eviolite. Can be physical or special, and also gets access to soundproof, so it can't be roared out. So it just sits there. You set up an iron defense, and you set up, and you just, well, it doesn't get body pressed like its adult form, but beggars can't be chooser. I think Bergmite still gets body press, but all in all, they have 91, 90, 83, 80, and then they have a 15-point diff buff, but that's fine. But if you weren't considering Magikarp's a Pokemon, that's still a gap you need to fill in between. But then you have 45, 45, 30, 30, 30. It's lacking in overall speed, but the Tailwind and what the stuff can do. If it wasn't for the fact it was a Sun team, I would have given this a lower speed score. But the fact that you have Tailwind now, Sun, access to Rain manually, uh, definitely good. Hazards, you just have the 2 rockers. Removals, the Bergmite. Priority, you have Sucker Punch Murkrow, Mach Punch Magby. You have Aqua. No, you don't get Aqua Jet. That would be broken. So that's going to be a little bit of a hindrance. It's good priority, but not the best. Oh, the hazards and the momentum really hurt this team. But it's fine. It's Sun. It's not going to be swapping. So don't take your low score as a hindrance. It is a phenomenal team, Boyd. Next, we're going to hop into Nue, who has played this format before. And now we have the Sand team. I still need to get a logo from him. He's working on making one. But this is an interesting team. Granted, it's not up there in the 80s, but this is a double-edged sword. You see these mons down here in the 25 and 20? They get Trick Room. One gets momentum, so they can get into a Dupe Hider for free, clicking water bubble boosted liquidations into everything. They have Sand. They have Trick Room in the Poltergeist as well. And then they just, yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's not fast. It's bulky. It fits Nue's playstyle. It's definitely an interesting team, but not enough speed on the top end to put it in that 4 or 5 category, unfortunately, because it's nowhere near. No, the Sand. Does the Sand put it? Yeah. We're gonna be fair with that. It's got speed control with Sand and the natural speed of everything else, and the Trick Room modes. We gotta be biased with that one. What hurts this team is the momentum. It's got good speed. The momentum hurts it. And then we have priority. They have Sucker Punch, Stunky, I don't know if Froakie gets Quick Attack. Yeah, that's it, but in Shadow Sneak. So it's at least something. So I'm not going to give it a 1. Hazards is where this gets interesting. This is the one of the few teams with webs. It also gets a mon that decent at setting spikes and T-spikes, especially Froakie. And it's a Terra Captain, so it can guarantee either be an offensive threat with Protean, or it can be their set hazards. Problem is, Froakie can't run Eviolite, so it needs to be defensive Terra if it's going for hazards. But if it's like Terra Water, right into immediate Hydro Pump, smacking you in the face, Froakie is just absolutely. So we're going to give them that. And the problem with this team that hurts them, just like Aaron, and I hate that I'm grading on removal, it's because they don't have any. If they had removal, this would be one of the better teams on the board. It's the removal that hurt them. It's the difference of they could have been a middle of the pack score to being possibly one of the lower. And I hate to say that, but that does not define the coach at all. Nue is a good player. It suits his play style, and we are going to see how he does. Why is Nimble the only thing loading? Oh, I also need to get a Sentret's logo from him as well. Alright, come on. This is an interesting team. I tripped for a second there and thought that was regular Electrode because the sprite in the box threw me off. Speed tiers on this one are pretty interesting because you go all the way down to 10 with Arena Trap, First Impression, Trappins, all the way up to 100. Your ground type being slow is both a good and a bad thing because do you have Trick Room here? No, you do not. But he does have webs. He has a phenomenal amount of hazards, so we will give him the benefit of the doubt on that. He has a phenomenal amount of momentum. His speed tiers are just a little bit of a hindrance, but Sticky Webs makes up for it, but doesn't make up for it enough. We will have to see. He also gets Prankster Copycat. He gets Aquajet and Cloncer. He gets First Impression and Nimble and Trappins. He gets Priority any move he wants with Copycat on Riolu. Sentret gets Quick Attack. Get Ice Shard, I believe, on the Shelter. So that's definitely not bad at all. Again, it's not a requirement, but since I graded the other ones on it, this one got a 0 for removal. I feel bad because that if they had removal, this team would be up there. Because they got very decent scores. Incredibly decent scores. Like, not a lot of teams scored high in priority. You need a select few that got up there. Next, we go into Common Boy. This one's interesting. We got First Impression Accuracy. We've got Mach Punch Timber. We've got Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch on the Sableye. Does Ducklet get Aquajet? I can't remember. And then I believe Go-Go gets Quick Attack. Priority is decent on this one as well. Hazards. This one is very good as well. The removal is where this team excels. You've got double Defog. Yes, Timber gets Defog. You can bring Timber in, baiting out a Guts Mach Punch to the face. They swap because they don't want to die, and then you defog the hazards away. It's as simple as that. And then you have a Rapid Spinner that punishes things. And it's got Flame Body, so anything that hits it also punishes. Granted, there's a common thing here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things weak to ground. They can actually work around that. Not a lot of teams got fast ground types, so they should be able to kill them. Alright, what do we have for momentum? We just have Volt Switch. This is probably the lowest of Volt Switch momentum we've seen, but it's fine. This team doesn't necessarily need it. We'll see how it goes. Oh, they got Prio Light Screen and everything else. So yeah, they got pretty good on that. Speed tiers is definitely interesting because you could drop to the 95 down to 72 and then a huge drop to the 50s. It's a little... It's a decent team. It is incredibly good. I just want to see what it does. Like, there's a lot of potential for this team. And I really want to see what Common Boy does, because Common Boy has been very good for himself. I believe he's in VDL, and I believe he just played players like 6 foot hacks and gave them a run for their money. So I'm not going to sleep on this guy. He'll pretty much adapt to this very well. He drafted rocks and hazards and removal like a standard format. So I'm not going to put it past him to be able to figure this out. But last but not least, we have the final team. Pokéneer is hard. I have to. He let a wheel randomly decide what he drafted. So this isn't even a chosen team by him. So it does not really matter how this one is scored, because again, if he was drafting it seriously, this would probably be a way different team. This is for fun in his eyes. Momentum, we're gonna give a decent score to, because he does have, I believe, parting shot from the Litten too. I'll double check that, but that's not bad at all. Problem is, the wheel was not kind to him and did not give removal. He also did not get a Sunsetter for the Petalil. He got stuck with double grasses, but he did get some priority. He got double Ice Shard. He got Fake Out. He got double Intimidate from this. He got Fake Out from Meowth. That's still pretty decent options. He has very, very good hazards. Just would have liked to see a Spike Setter. And then Speed. Speed is what hurt him. Am I really about to have back-to-back one of these where things just go weird for the last person to pick at the wheel, as far as point-wise? But anyways, those are the teams. When I will pop up the ranking of the 12 people shortly after this and combine them together once I make the slide. And I will see you guys shortly. Alright, take these with a grain of salt. This is what it ended up being on the scale of 25, with prio, hazards, removal, momentum, and speed tiers factored in. No surprise with how crack I drafted. Even being biased, I got to 20. Grassy terrain, Shrootle, and having all the priority is just ridiculous. Having the hazards is ridiculous. Having the removal is ridiculous on my team, even if it is just the one. The removal is what hurt me because I only had the defogger. But other than that, I'd be higher. But take these with a grain of salt. A lot of these teams, three of them decided not to draft removal at all. That's why they are down at the bottom you see here. If they had a removal, they'd be up here with the rest of everybody else. But again, since I graded these on the same scales as the other SVs divisions, some of you guys paid a little bit, but if we did bulk, a lot of this would slightly shift. So I'm not saying none of your teams are bad. All of them are good. A lot of them have a lot of bulk and synergy. It's just the same categories as Latias and Latias. So this is what it ended up being at the end. Zentef bumped up slightly because I forgot that Tidy Up exists. So instead of being down here with Boyd, he ended up being up in 15 instead, because he actually had removal options and decent speed tiers. So, yeah, a lot of you guys drafted incredibly well. Little Cup is hard to judge, so these points mean nothing. But I just wish you guys the best of luck on the season, and hopefully, you guys have a lot of fun. Things hit harder than you think they do, things are bulkier than you think they are. Having the two EV lights matter, having two of any item matter. Um, I hope the Terra Captain not being allowed to have EV light is beneficial, so it's not bulk fested out of control. And I hope they restricted 16 to 19 point tiers. Not having Eviolite also help with everything being balanced. But I wish you the best of luck on the season. Again, these mean nothing. This is just on a scale. Every team was good, even the ones that did not have hazard removal. I want you guys to realize that. But anyways, like and subscribe if you haven't, and enjoy. I will catch you guys later. Peace.